We were walking along the dirt path. The moon was bright, and the shadows were stretching. The church bells rang, letting us know it was 11 o'clock at night. Suddenly, it all went dead silent. Nobody laughed, nobody talked. We could only hear the heavy clicking of claws on the cobblestone. Then, a creature emerged from the fog. We heard a low and menacing growl. Grr. Do you know who we are talking about? We are talking about the Cadejo, the phantom dog. A beast with a ghost-like appearance, covered in thick fur with glowing red eyes, who stalks through the night, with heavy iron chains dragging behind his paws. He comes from the mountains and goes towards the villages, wandering and watching around the streets. El Cadejo is a spirit in Central American folklore. According to oral tradition, he is the manifestation of a curse, a creature who wanders around trying to find travelers and terrifying anyone who crosses his path or hears his heavy breathing. A dark story, a horror story of ancient choices and duality that has been passed on from generation to generation. This legend has many different versions depending on the region you are in, but they all agree on something. He always shows up late at night, and his glowing red eyes are unforgettable. One of the most popular versions tells the story of a reckless young man of humble origins. He was a frequent troublemaker in the village. For a time, he ignored all warnings and stayed out late every single night. But one day, an old hermit warned him of a curse, without giving explanations of any type. Soon after, the young man ignored the warning and went deep into the valley. This sealed the fate of this reckless man. Terrified, he realized the darkness was taking hold of him in the cruelest way he could think of. One night, the transformation began, and he ran far away into the hills, close to his old home. Blind by panic, a terrible energy possessed him, and he could feel all his human traits turn into a beast. He transformed until his old self was completely gone. He suddenly reacted, and, when he realized what he had just become, he started running, desperately into the fog, until his body was completely covered by darkness. He made that terrible growl and disappeared. From that moment on, El Cadejo became a wandering entity. He walks around the streets looking for late-night travelers, watching and waiting, hence his name. People say El Cadejo targets travelers who wander alone, so he can lead them astray into the wilderness to be lost forever. He terrifies adults with his massive size, to exact a lesson on those who do not respect the night. But when they try to step away, they discover his white-hot teeth and his eyes, trying to dig in the deepest parts of the soul to trap them in fear. There are many people that say they have seen or heard his chains. His story still scares little boys and girls, but also adults. The origins of El Cadejo are not very clear. Ancient cultures believed in guardian spirits and cursed beasts that appeared next to roads. Some historians think that in Central America, the origin of El Cadejo can be related to ancient Mesoamerican underworld guardians. According to the legend, he comes from the shadows of the old ruins to watch over the paths. And even though in El Salvador and Guatemala El Cadejo is one of the most important figures in popular culture, there are many other countries with a similar legend. In Mexico, he is sometimes compared to the Nahual, a shapeshifter believed to roam the rural towns because a powerful curse was placed on them when they were very young. This entity can only be seen by people when they travel alone past midnight, as well as people who walk the lonely roads. In different regions, they talk about the dual nature of the creature, a wandering guardian or a malicious beast that walks around the valleys and mountains, close to villages and paths, covered with a thick coat that hides his true form. His silhouette is a terrifying hound, and in his eye sockets, he has two incandescent embers. He carries the weight of heavy chains, and he leaves deep tracks in the dirt. These are only some examples. In other countries such as Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, or Belize, they also have the legend that tells the story of the ghostly presence of this wandering phantom beast.